G'day everyone, Spuddy from Spuds Games. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to pick up some BVMs and some, I think it's pronounced Shibu Soku monitors. So let's go. So I've got a message on Messenger. You know, I've got some BVMs for you to come and look. Actually, he just called them monitors. 20-inch monitors. He sent the message through, and as it turned out, there's 3 BVMs, Sony 2010 BVMs, and 2 of these, I think it's Shibu Soku or Shibu Soku composite-only monitors. I'm going to test them. This is kind of like a recycling centre. You know, I already know that the BVMs don't have backs on them, which is quite unusual, and they don't have keys for the drawer either. So, but in saying that, both of those problems are solvable. The backs can be made up. That's no problems. With a bit of perspex, or you know, if you've got friends in the sheet metal game, they can certainly cut one out for you. And the Shibu Soku or Shibu Soku monitors, they look like they're RGB moddable, but they are quite old, and any documentation is quite hard to find on them. So I'm heading out there. I bought the Mega Drive with RGB to test the monitors on. There's a good chance that I might leave them there, but I'll have a look. You know, I certainly don't want to be bringing home monitors that have burn-in and you know, all sorts of problems. So if, I mean, yeah, no back, no keys, they're both solvable. But you know, if they're in bad condition, or you know, or it looks like they need recaps and all that type of stuff, then you know, there's a good chance I might leave them there. But we'll pull up, we'll have a look, and we'll see how we go. Okay, so I've just got home. This one's still here in the car. As you can see, something really weird. It doesn't have any back on it, which, I mean, I don't think it'll be too hard to make up one. But the fact that it hasn't got a back on there surprises me. But these are, you know, BVM 2010s. Someone is even kind enough to put a, where is it? A label at the top here, BVM 2010s. You can tell here. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a key for this drawer down the bottom. So, for any adjustments and whatnot, I'm going to have to you know, wait for a key to come. We can buy another key for it, so I'll get a key for it so I can adjust. I've dragged the other ones inside. Let's go and have a look at a bit of a test. Right, so here we are. Don't mind the mess. I've got one down here, one BVM 2010 down here. I've got one up here on ready to test, and then I've also got these 2, the Shibu Sokus, over here as well. Now I will say, none of these tested okay in the workshop. None of them displayed a picture in the where I picked them up. So, you know, the offer that I was going to put in, I certainly didn't put that offer in there. I put an offer for $500 for all 3 BVMs and the 2 Shibu Sokus. But I'm just going to have more of a play with them because I really haven't read much of the manual. Maybe there was something we weren't doing or whatnot. But I'm just going to test them anyway. You never know. We'll see how we go. Okay, so we've now set the first one up. As I said, I don't have a key for this, so if I need to make any adjustments to this one, then I can't at the moment, but my goal is just to try and get it to work. Now, I didn't test it all in the workshop. It powered on. I did notice this overlight come on very briefly, but then switched off, but I don't know if that's normal. But anyway, I thought, you know what, we'll come home, we'll give it a test. First I'm going to test composite, and then I'll test RGB. And we'll just see how we go. So I'm at the moment, I think I'm on line 1 or line A on composite. I'll just turn the Mega Drive on, so that's on. We'll just turn this on, make sure that's on line A. We've got internal sync. So you see there that light flashed. I don't know if that's normal or not. We'll see how we go. Oh, we've got a picture. Okay, very green picture. Turn these off to auto, see if that makes a difference. Now, we've got a picture. That's a good start. So let's turn all these guns off. So blue does come up. Let's just turn that brightness up a little bit in contrast. Hang on, we'll turn that manually. Contrast and brightness up a little bit. So that should be okay. So that's a little bit better. turn that up, that down. That's a little bit better. All the guns are on. Let's turn them all off. Red works, green works, blue works. So that's good. I can see the pitch is just chopped off a bit short, but that's more of a geometry setting. Just test 240p test suite. All that brightness is a bit high. Let's turn that down a bit. There we go. That works. I can't switch NTSC or PAL because I think that's a setting in this drawer here. If I try to switch to 60 Hertz on here, I'm pretty sure it'll be black and white. Yep, black and white. That's expected. That's fine. But the good thing is this works. Now, out of curiosity, there's only a line A and B, but there's three inputs. There's a line A, there's a line B, which share the same card. They're just composite inputs. But then there's a line 3. There's a RGB component. So what I'll do is I'll just unplug this and we'll just test line B. I said we couldn't get an RGB picture to work, even though there's RGB component terminals on the back. But I've only got line A and line B selected. So line A is not there, line B, because it's on line B composite. Let me just check the manual and I want to come back to you with something. Okay, so I've just switched over to my phone, and apologies to doing it this way, but it's just quicker for me. Now, what I was talking about, so these buttons here, this is what I was curious about. So this button here, or these set of buttons, these are on the internal drawer, which I can't get access to. You'll see there's RGB, component, test, and B. Now, if I go down to 8, which is here, you'll see that this is the input select button. So RGB to monitor the RGB signals, component to do the component, test to test the composite video signals connected to that, and then this B button as well, which to monitor composite video connected to the video B input. So I'm thinking in that drawer, someone has pressed the B button to have A and B composite. That RGB button needs to be pressed. And that's why I'm getting nothing on RGB or component, because the B button's pressed, not the RGB or component. And that's obviously a good example, and it shows you here as well. So, you know, A is normal, B, test B, you know, position RGB is RGB, position, you know, for input B, component is component. So I think I've just explained why, or just thought why I don't get an RGB signal. So there we go. First monitor seems to have tested okay. The reason I'm not getting an RGB signal is because the RGB is not selected in the drawer. So that's a good thing. That means I'm hoping I just got a perfectly, not one, if we're all set up the same way, 3 perfectly good BVMs. And I'm not sure about these ones yet. I need to test these. The only thing I can think of why this didn't test in his workshop is whatever we're using, which was a Blu-ray player on composite. Yeah, maybe it was a dicky connection or something like that, because we certainly weren't getting any signal on this whatsoever. So I'm thinking maybe that Blu-ray signal, you know, you needed to switch between composite, or you needed to select the signal that you're going to use inside that Blu-ray player rather than just plug it in and hope it auto switched and worked. But yeah, we definitely didn't get a picture, but we've got a picture there now. So let's get on to testing the other monitors. Right, I've got the second monitor here now, exactly the same model. Same setup, so we've hooked it into line A, internal sync, Mega Drive's on. Boom. So that's a good sign, turned on. Hopefully we get a picture the same as we did the last one. Oh, here we go. It's coming. There we go. The geometry is much better off the bat on this one. But we're only coming off composite signal here, so I'll just manually adjust this a little bit. Looks better. So there we go, another one that works. Now I'm not going to test the RGB in this one. What I'll do is I'll test line B. If line B is also composite, then I'm not going to bother testing RGB, because if I test, there's no point, because line B is already associated to the second composite signal and I can't get access to the drawer, so no point testing the RGB signals just yet. But once again, worked. And I swear to God, this did not work in his factory. So yeah, could have got a really good deal here. Let's test line B. So I've just switched it over to line B. Let's give it a go. There we go. Works straight away. Fantastic. Now, since line B are allocated to composite, I'm not going to test RGB and component because there's no point. Yeah, I'm getting really excited now. 2 out of the 3 BVMs work from something that I swear to God, nothing worked in his workshop. Righto, this is monitor number, or BVM number 3. Sorry, a bit hot and sweaty. I had to carry this one from the car. That was the one I took a video before of. Let's see if it works. Got line A, plugged into line A at the back. That overload light comes on very briefly. I don't know if that's normal or not. We'll see. No picture, no picture. Oh, here we come. A bit to warm up. Oh, there we go. There we go. Another one that worked. That's fantastic. Got 3 of them. I got from none working at all to all 3 of them actually working. Quickly test line B to make sure if line B doesn't come on, then we know it needs to be RGB component. But you know, all things equal, then it should be exactly the same because they come from the same spot from what I understand. So I'll turn this off quickly, swap it over and see how we go. Right, our Mega Drive's on, monitor's on, line B. There we go. How good's that? 3 working monitors. I won't worry about trying to test RGB because having A and B obviously assigned to the composite, there's no point, but perfect. I think I can turn that off. Don't think it does anything, the comb or trap. No, doesn't do anything. So perfect, exactly what I was hoping for. I've got no working monitors to 3 working monitors so far. Now let's test the old Shibasokus here and see how we go with those. Hopefully we have the same luck. Okay, we've now got the Shibasoku monitors, which I believe are Panasonic. It definitely has a, or the person I was speaking to said it had a Matsushita tube in it, which indicates that it's Panasonic. I've got line A plugged in with the Mega Drive, same as I had with those other PVMs. I've never used one of these before, so you might catch me flicking some buttons here and whatnot if I can't get it to come on. But we'll just leave it as is. You know, I can't see anything out of the ordinary, so we'll just turn it on. I didn't get a degauss, but I certainly heard some high voltage there. Oh, how good's that? Got a picture. I would say this is a PAL only monitor. It says it down here on here, and it's composite only. But that's a really good power signal. Maybe a little bit white. If I just turn that brightness down a bit, and the contrast, maybe turn the contrast up a little bit, brightness down. It's a bit better. That's a pretty good PAL signal there. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Turn the comb. There we go, another one that worked. Now the reason why I'm so surprised is obviously we tested these in his workshop with his composite signal and whatever we were using the Blu-ray player. I don't know why, obviously wasn't outputting a composite signal because we weren't getting pictures on these. They're all powering up, but we weren't getting any pictures whatsoever. So I'm just over the moon that now 4 out of the 5 work. Fantastic. Let's try the last one. Okay, right, here we go, lucky last. I'm pretty sure all the same settings as last time are there. Contrast is way up on this, but we'll see how we go. Yep, got a high voltage signal. When I say signal, it's more of a crack than anything else. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. And we don't have anything. Well, maybe it was too good to be true. Let me just double check the connections at the back. Oh, I'm in this sink. External sink. Hang on, I'll switch that. I can fix that. I don't know if I've got a picture. Ah, there we go. A picture. Oh, she's a little bit pink. Just turn the... let's just turn some of these down. It is a little bit pink. Let me just drop in some of the... I'll drop all the colours out and see where we're having problems. So blue works. Green is very faint, so let's just turn the green up. See if we can turn the green bias up. Right, so I've got my trusty little screwdriver here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave the green on and just see if I can turn that up a bit. There. Let's test the red. Red's like that. Green. Blue's a little bit. Oh yeah, I want blue, don't I? So there. So if I turn them all now, that's better. It's definitely not as. I might just turn the red down a bit, turn the blue down a bit, which should bring the green in a bit more. Yeah, and that's pretty good. That's much better than what it was. If I just flick that brightness up and the contrast down, yeah, heaps better. Okay, so I just think the bias or the gains here were a little bit out, but once again, it works perfectly. Thank God for that. Is degauss? Degauss button doesn't work. Oh, there we go. Yes, it does. Oh, geez. There we go. Degauss button even works. I'm really keen to have a play around with this monitor. I am wondering if it can be RGB modded. There are a heap of RGB blanked off spots, especially on the blank back where it looks like there was supposed to be RGB terminals. So if I can dig up some kind of service manual or pull it apart and have a look, then I'd be really keen to give it a go. But once again, super happy that all these monitors work. So there we go, guys. Thanks for watching. Leave your comments below. Tell me how you think I did. $500 for these 5 monitors. Yes, I bought them, didn't think they worked. But I suppose it just goes to show sometimes the easiest solution is actually the solution. And it turns out the dicky signals that we were using to test, that was the problem, not the monitors themselves. So I'm really keen to get the key for those drawers, particularly on the BVMs, get the drawers out, test them all, see if we can get really nice pictures on this, and I'll do a follow-up video once I do that. But yeah, I'm super excited to have 3 20-inch BVMs in my possession now, and 2 of these, what I'm assuming are probably pretty rare Shibu Soku, they're composite only PAL, but they're still good to have in the collection. I mean, how cool do they look? So yeah, until the next video, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you then.